Alright, today guys we are going to be tinting a pair of 2012 Camaro ZL1 taillights. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need some acetone or some paint thinner. Either one of those would work. You're going to want some VHT nightshades for your tint. You could also use any crystal clear enamel clear coat. I'm using the one by Rust-Oleum. You are also going to need some wet sandpaper, higher grit, 2000, 2500. I got an assorted bundle there. You're also going to need some microfibers, and you will also need some dish detergent soap for the wet sand. So first we will go ahead and do the wet sand. Go ahead and fold your wet sandpaper. I have a thing of water over here to the side with me. Go ahead and dip it in the water. You're going to want to take some of that dish detergent soap and put a little bit on, not a whole lot. And then you can kind of wet the tail lights. You're going to go ahead and start to buff the tail lights until the sheen goes out. Once the sheen is gone, you are basically good to go. If it starts getting too slippery, that means you have a little bit too much soap. Go ahead and dip your wet sandpaper back into the water and then resume sanding. Make sure you get all the corners too, just so you're not missing anything. Go ahead and follow the edges of them. It's getting a little bit slippery here, so add a little bit more water. Another good thing would be just to wash these lights once you uninstall them in your car, just one more time before you start to wet sand them, just based on the fact that it's going to help get all the dirt out. Once they are all still soapy, it doesn't really matter if you decide to wash them off. You can go ahead and wipe them off with a microfiber or a standard towel. I use microfiber just so it doesn't scratch anything. I don't know if you guys can see, it's a little bit duller now. That's a pretty good picture for it. Go ahead and make sure that it is all dry. You don't want any water remaining around that. Alrighty, and once it is all dry, you can go ahead and take the acetone. You don't need a lot of acetone, just a little bit, just enough to basically, I don't know, say quarter size, maybe a little bit more. Everything's new here. Just go ahead and put a little bit on your microfiber, whatever towel that you are using. Alright. Then you're going to take it, I don't know if you can see that, and you're just going to wipe it down. It'll look like it's taken off all the scratches. Those scratches are still there. All you're basically doing is taking off all the impurities, or let's call it the plastic that you already sanded off with it. Once it dries, it'll look a lot duller. I don't know if you can see, that's a little bit better of a position. Your main thing is not to get any of your oils on your fingers onto this once it is all clean. Really work that acetone or paint thinner in there just so you can get a good clean. Take your second microfiber or second towel and make sure you buff all that paint thinner or acetone off of the light. You don't want it to hinder the tinting of the lights. Alright, that's what it looks like. It's a little bit of a sheen. Yes, you can still see some reflection, but trust me, it is pretty scratched up here. The reason that you have to wet sand it is so the VHT nightshades adheres to it a lot better. Alright guys, go ahead and perk it up a little bit. Then you can go ahead and take your VHT nightshades. Let's see if I can get a better view for you guys. Let's see how we can do this. Ooh, okay, let's call it right there. Alright, standard 3 coats of VHT nightshades is pretty common. Generally, it could take about an hour to 3 hours for this to dry. I actually am in a shed and I have a heater going, so hopefully that speeds up the process a little bit. Go ahead and spray your VHT nightshades somewhere else so you know that it does work and it's not coming out too much. You're going to start off of the light and you're going to make sweeping motions across it, starting off of the light. Never spray directly on the light because you're going to get a buildup of the nightshades or the paint and it will end up dripping. So go ahead and start off of the light and go in even strokes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to let it sit again. I'm going to actually make a second video of once I put all 3 coats on. I'll show you guys what it looks like with 1 coat on, and then in the video, the next one will have all 3 coats on, and then we will start to go ahead and put the clear coat on. But start off of the light and just make even passes. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is what it looks like. Let's see if we can get you a little bit darker. There's the first tint of the VHT nightshades on it. I will have that second video for you guys up here in a little bit, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like with all 3 on. Alrighty.